Pause. All right, I'm gonna start the recording and I like this. I have like this summary and it'll take notes for us and I love that. All right, welcome everybody. I'm so excited. Yes, as you're joining in, give me a hey, hi, let me know where you're joining in from. I'll go over like some just overall kind of ground rules, which is this is a safe space for you all. Feel free to network with everyone in here. I had somebody ask, they were like, Latrice, can I share my LinkedIn? I was like, absolutely. And they were like, somebody was like, oh no, like they went to somebody else's workshop and they were like, oh no, you can't do that. I'm like, no, this is for you all. And when we really get to talking about what's going on with 2024, you will know why I'm like, let's start building these relationships. So feel free, if you would like to connect with other people in here, feel free to put your LinkedIn, reach out to people, connect. That's what it's all about, making new connections, having a community, having a network. Hey, Miss Rita, how are you? Thank you for dropping in. I see some familiar faces and I see some new people. I'm so excited, you guys. And thank you all for coming early and coming on time. But yes, ground rules, safe space. Feel free to be you. We are feel free to share things, get deep. This is your space, okay? If you want to connect and communicate with other people, you can do that as well. You can have private chats, I believe. But yeah, this is your space. And thank you all. I see some people putting their LinkedIn. I think for the most part, most people are already connected with me on LinkedIn. If you're not, be sure to follow me on LinkedIn. But yes, definitely connect with each other, okay? And as we're going through this, if you see something that really resonates with you, or you really like, it is okay to take a screenshot. And I highly recommend it. Take a screenshot, share it, tag me, tag a friend. It helps spread the word, it helps spread the message. So definitely feel free to do that. Okay. But yeah, I'm so excited you all are connecting. Be sure y'all should leave here with like 20 new connections. It's already 24 people on here and it's 6:04 my time. And more people will join. Y'all should have about 20 new connections. If you get nothing else from this, you will be getting 20 new connections with amazing women of color. So go ahead and do that, okay? All right. I may need a tech person to help me make sure my slides is showing y'all. Okay. All right. Can somebody tell me if y'all can see my slides? Can y'all see my slides?
Yeah, I can
Yes.
see.
Okay, perfect. I'm gonna pin myself so it's like that. Okay. Y'all can see the slides. I gotta move this little bar. I like to see the comments, but sometimes it can be a little bit distracting. I gotta move it. All right. So this is the free master class, how to land a six-figure promotion as a woman of color. And I have updated to be like in 2024. Let me tell you what happened, you guys. I mean, y'all know 2024 been 2024 in it. Like that's just what it's been doing. It's been doing what it did, right? So we're going to talk about it. I actually went to a recruiters conference recently and learned what the recruiters were learning. I got to hear some of the challenges they were having. I got to hear what they were saying about finding candidates. It was enlightening. And I have been in HR for around 13 years and I've been, having my own business career coaching for probably the last 5. And we had the pandemic and then we have this right, like whoa, where that was like it was a little stark, it's a little shocking, right? So that was very interesting and I learned a lot. It was a 2-day conference and I wanted to update this presentation. I wanted to talk to you all about this because it is different. Um, and I have some clients on here. For my clients, we will be doing a special one. They sent all the replays out. We will be doing a special 2024 market update session where we're only talking about that. And this one is just going to be a piece of it, okay? I would also say if you know another woman of color who needs to hear this, feel free to share this with her. You can either give her the link to sign up or the Zoom link. I just ask that you just don't put the Zoom link on like Facebook or anything like that. But if you know somebody who needs to hear this, who needs to be in this room, go ahead and text her, DM her, send it, share it out, email her. Just don't post the Zoom link, y'all know, on there. But we definitely want to share. We definitely want to get as many people as possible to hear this message. All right, let me check these comments. Yeah, I just been seeing the numbers go up. Let me see. Oh, Monica, you're from Maryland. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. If you cannot hear my accent, I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. We got Leslie from New Jersey. Hey, Karen in Orlando. Clark from Chicago. All right. Everybody's putting theirs. All right, y'all. Y'all should have at least 20 new connections right now. Hey, Taisha. Yes. And I'm going to be checking y'all LinkedIn to make sure that y'all credentials are behind your name. I will check. All right, Destiny, Caprice. All right. Hey, I never had people from South Carolina, so thank you for tuning in. Let me know if it's pronounced Caprice. My name is Latrice, so I just think it's Caprice, but let me know if that's correct. All right, we got Charlotte in the house. All right, that's correct. All right, y'all. All right, we getting started. Did I see the slides be like, well, my slides acting like this. We gonna get it. We gonna get it. Okay. So what you should know, this is fun. We're gonna have fun. Please, if you have never been to any of my workshops, let me just tell you, I like interactivity. Don't make me sit here and talk to myself like this. Things you will learn more when you're interacting. You learn better when you're having fun. You actually retain more of the information when you're like having fun and moving around, right? So make sure you're interactive, making sure you're connecting, responding. I call it in-session activities, you guys. Make sure you do the in-session activities. It's going to be fun. So that's what you should know. All right, I'm going to teach you all my 3-step formula for landing a 6-figure promotion using your personal brand. I'm also going to tell you all about open enrollment for my Fearless Branding Formula with an extra special bonus. So remind me to tell you all about the bonus at the end. You'll also be able to ask me questions about the Fearless Branding Formula. You'll see it abbreviated FBF, about job market stuff, things that I'm seeing, things that are going on with your career. That is the benefit of showing up live. You kind of get some free coaching, some free one-on-one, some free time with the coach, right? So I try to keep it to 30 minutes. If we go over, that's fine. But we'll have a 30-minute Q&A session. And again, at the end, you can ask me questions you like. So I like that part. All right, be sure, take notes. You guys, I have pen and paper. So take notes, comment. We're going to have fun. You're going to learn how to land a 6-figure promotion that you actually love. What's going on in the current job market? Like I said, we're going to go ahead and talk about this. How to beat out the competition by breaking the rules. And why personal branding is so important for women of color, especially now. And then we're going to talk about the bulk of this is going to be the 3 mistakes women of color make when it comes to personal branding. I'm going to share solutions to those mistakes, and I'm going to share with you all real world case studies. Okay. So, like, all right, we can do this. Give me 1 second. These slides are supposed to just move when I click. There we go. And y'all can still see that, right? Y'all see me snatched? God, this is the benefit of having like daughters. My daughters like snatched and cinched me in. Let me make sure. And you all can still see my slides because I just kind of moved some things, but let me know if you can still see. Can somebody put in the comments yes or no if you can still see? Yes. Okay. All right, y'all. I got nervous. It's a delay in the comments. I was like, oh crap. You can see my slides. All right. So welcome. If you don't know me, welcome. I am Latrice Huff. I'm a career and leadership coach. I am a speaker, a personal branding expert, HR veteran. I'm like, I have a lot of hats. Founder of the Fearless Branding Formula. And I help women of color stop playing it safe, become fearless, and land 6-figure jobs they love. I've supported over 100 women of color in mastering their brand. This is key. And mastering their brand so they can increase their salaries by $20,000 to $50,000 and land a 6-figure promotion regardless of the job market. This is key. There we go. I got the slides working there. And as you can see, these are my babies. So this is my quick story. I have over 10 years in human resources, went from a recruiter to running my own department. So I know exactly what companies are looking for. Let me just touch on this a little bit. I'm gonna do a little caveat in this story. What I don't share on here, because I'm like, we ain't got enough room, is all the other jobs that I have had. Sometimes people come to me and they're like, oh, you've just been in HR. No, I have pivoted several times. I was in hospitality. I was a waitress. I was in accounting. I hated that. I was in marketing, hated that. Then I went to HR. I loved that. And then got married, started all over, and started my own business. But it's the same things that you all are probably going through. I went through. I came out of school in 2007. So if y'all know, that was at the top of the market, was like terrible recession, terrible job market. I came out of college and thinking I was gonna like make all this money. You know, you get your degree, you think you're gonna make all this money. Psh, psh, psh. And because I had someone to help me, I was still able to navigate and negotiate. I negotiated my first salary out of college, but it wasn't easy. I had jobs renege offers, right? Multiple times during it was almost like that 2 years, if any of you all remember. I'm aging myself here, but it was like a 2 year span where companies would like hire you, renege on the offer, like laying people off. It was crazy. It kind of reminds me a little bit what's going on there. It was crazy, but I survived. I still got a wonderful job. I stayed with that company long term. I wound up, like I said, negotiating that salary right out of college. It is possible, right? It is possible, and you can do it. And I wanted to share this really quickly. The reason I want to share that is because I have pivoted several times in my career, several. And a lot of times people come to me, either they want to pivot, they had to pivot, like they pivoted, or they've had several jobs. And what I share is like, no, you have diverse work experience. You bring so much to the table. And recently I heard this woman talk about it, and she was a similar story. She's like early 40s and was telling how she came out, you know, in the big recession. And she was like, apparently, the average millennial will have 10 to 15 jobs throughout their career, where our parents probably had 1 to 4. My mom had one job her entire life. She worked for the government her entire life in the same building until she retired. My dad had about 3 or 4 jobs his entire life, you guys. I mean, from like 50, from teen years to adult, right? Entire life. Where if you're, I don't know how many of you are millennials, but if you're a millennial like me, we probably had about 10 to 15 jobs. When she said 10 to 15, I was like, at least different careers and everything. And what she said, millennials are the most professionally agile generation. Agile. I'm sharing that because this needs to come up in this job market. You need to be flexible. You need to be able to speak to your abilities and your value. Okay. So that's why we need to switch our language too. You're not a job hopper. No, you're professionally agile. All right. I want everybody, if you're professionally agile, go ahead and put in the comments. Let me know. Makes me feel better for having multiple jobs. Yes. Leslie, my mother had 3, my dad had 2, and said, yes, yes, y'all. My mother had one. Okay. And they recruited her right out of high school and she never left. Again, if you're in the DMV area, if that was a pretty common thing that your parents and your aunties would like work for the government their entire life, right? So I wanted to share that because I usually kind of skip over that. So people don't know that piece about me, that I've transitioned careers several times. I've had several jobs throughout my lifetime, right? So I wanted to share that piece, and I want you to be like professionally agile, okay? So here's the rest of my story. I went from being a struggling single mom. I had my older 2 daughters as a teenager. And I found myself in a position where I needed more money, but I could not commit to more work. And I couldn't go back to school. I got a certificate and I already had a degree, but I couldn't keep getting schooling because I had a non-traditional lifestyle. So it forced me to think out of the box, right? So I went from being a struggling single mom to negotiating a $20,000 promotion for myself. And then once I figured this out and figured out what everybody else was doing, y'all, I started getting promoted every year to every other year and quickly doubling, more than doubling my income. I was lapping folks, right? And I teach you exactly how to do this in my fearless branding formula. I talk a lot about my brand, how I had to start talking about myself differently. I had to start giving people the words to talk about me, all those things. Right. And so the Fearless Branding Formula, this is my signature program designed to help women of color master your personal brand so that you can increase your salary by $20,000 to $50,000 and land a six-figure promotion. All right. And you can see these are my girls, and then I started all over. So I have a 21-year age. Yeah, I'll be the queen of starting over. So I have a 21-year age gap between my kids. For real. For real. But I wanted to share this really quickly with my this is a client story with my client, Kari. Before she met me and before she joined the program, she thought that she didn't have a certification. She didn't have a master's degree. She was like, well, I can't get promoted. She was actually laid off. And she was like, Latrice, I just want to make what I was making before. That was her goal. She was like, I just want to make what I made before. No more. She was a single mom as well. She didn't even think she could get an extra 20,000 was possible. She was like, I'm good. I just need to make this. That was it. And I was like, girl, you're amazing. Like, you can do this. And interesting enough, she made an interesting decision. She wound up paying me. Her company had given her funds to get like a certification. And she was like, you know what? I'm going to use these funds and get a career coach and then have another company pay for the certification. And that's exactly what she did, right? After working together, she got an increase of $40,000. That money was life changing for her and her child. And I know what that is like because when I got it, when you start getting like these, like multiple 10, like 10, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 increases, it's a quality of life change for you and your family. It's not just dollars, it's a quality of life change, right? She wound up landing 10 interviews. She had a job she loves. She has a six-figure promotions with perks, you guys. And she had less stress than the job she had before. She was actually working in Vegas and it was a very stressful. I don't know if you very stressful job, right? Now she has more time with her daughter. She didn't need a degree or a certification, and the layoff didn't matter. And I'm sharing this in case you find yourself in her position where you're laid off or you're like, I don't even know if I can go back to this job like anymore. It and I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, but sometimes we make it so big, like they're going to keep asking me, like, why did I leave my last job? What happened? Right. And sometimes you just need a standard response and know how to redirect. And that's what we worked on. And we worked on her confidence and building her brand. And this was all during a pandemic. So, y'all, if she could do this during a pandemic, we can do this on the 2024 job market. Like, we can do this. All right, so let's talk about it. Let's just go there. And when I say a six-figure promotion, I tell people I'm assuming that you're getting a $20,000 to $50,000 increase, right? To take you to six figures and beyond. So let's talk about it. What would an extra 20 to 50,000 unlock for you? Again, that's quality of life change money. For me, I was able to buy a house, get a new car. I moved my kids into a better school district because I bought a house. Like, put in the comments, I want you all to really think about this. What would an extra $20,000 to $50,000 unlock for you and your family? Like, what would it unlock for you guys? Let me check the comments. It's a little bit. Buying a house and saving for retirement. Yes. You know, freedom, flexibility of options. Yes. Like, I've had clients now when they get it, like now I don't know if you all can see that. Now they're buying real estate. They're investing in their 401k. They're helping their family out. I have some clients that are from different countries. They're able to like give back to their home country. I have one client who was like, she wants to start an orphanage in her country. She's from a small island. Like so many things. Investing, yes. Have to go to college and pay tuition without acquiring loans. Oh, it's coming up. Paying off debt. Yes. Saving for retirement. I'm trying to prepare for, oh, you're going to take the LSATs. Okay. So it would help me survive during part-time law school. Yes. Kareem, preparing for retirement and investing. Yes. Like it would make you feel so comfortable to be like, okay, I have this extra money. And the thing is, a $20,000 to $50,000 promotion that's just one thing. That's just one time. Now each promotion is now on top of that. So some of my clients that I'm telling you about, like her, she got that increase, that 40K, and now each raise is on top of the 40K. It's a domino effect. What's that phrase when you talk about you are the investing people? I am not a finance guru. Oh, is it cumulative interest or something where it's like now it's accumulating? But correct me if I'm wrong, because finance was not my strong suit. That was the only class that I needed to get a tutor in. But it's like that, oh, compound. I think it's like compound interest, right? Like things are going to compound on top of that. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about what would it unlock for you. Yes, you're going to put money in savings once you have it. And then what? When you get the next promotion on top of that. Let me see what Lourdes says. That would allow me to pay all my credit card debt, Iris, that pay my new car. I just bought and increased my retirement, help me and my family, more money in my side business. Yes. Cumulative increases. Yes. Thank you all for helping me with the words. All right. So now let's be honest. Now we're gonna bring it back. Right? We're gonna bring it back to reality. Because here's the thing, and when I say that, it's not unrealistic, but I know our brains are like, yeah, but okay, let's just get to it. What do you think is required to get that extra 20 to 50,000 in this job market? In this job market, what do you think is required now? How does that shift? Does that also join your leadership program? Well, thank you. Experience I don't have. Being more confident, it does require confidence. Skills, not, yep, network, transferable skill sets. Yes, it does. And knowing, no, yeah, I was speaking to someone today and she had all these transferable skills and she did not see it. She did not see it. I was like, you need to be able, it's not just to have them, you need to be able to know them and articulate your transferable skills. Finding the right company and confidence. Yes. I've been my new thing is like to hang around more millionaires, and I've been hanging around more millionaires, and they're not any smarter than you or I. And I had one guy tell me, he was like, you know, the only difference between your business and my business, and I'm like, some zeros, right? Like some zeros, sir. But he was like, no, he's like, I just have the confidence. He was like, it's confidence. And a lot of this is true. Opportunities are out there. Confidence isn't everything, but it is a huge part of it. All right. Oh, this slide is out of order, but wanted to tell you all, when you stay to the end, I have a bonus for you all. So you'll just have to put like here in the comments at the end, and then we'll track it and you'll get that bonus, but my slide is out of order. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, these slides are out of order. This is so funny, but that's okay. I'm going to go over this really quickly. All right. So now that we did that, I'm going to get right into it, but I do want to go over this slide because this is important. You are in the right place if, and I just be like, if this is any of this is you, you have a degree, certification, and experience, but you're still not getting paid what you want. I know that was me. If you're tired of trying it on your own, like work, prove. If you're like, I just need to prove myself, I just need to get in there. First of all, this is why I'm reading this, because I was like, somebody need to hear this. If you got 10 to 15 years experience, you don't need to keep proving yourself. Okay, let me just say that you don't need to keep, even when you go somewhere new, you're not in the proving phase. You're in the, okay, let me do my job and add value phase. You're not proving anymore. Okay, you're an ambitious woman of color and you're ready to feel fulfilled by your career. All right, you want to take your career to the next level, but you're like, I don't even know how. Right. You want a new or clearly defined brand. And I say new because we all have a brand. Now, whether you are controlling your brand or somebody else is controlling your brand is a different thing, but we all have a brand. Okay. You want to land a six-figure role, whether it is remote, hybrid, or in person. You're like, I want to land this. And you want to increase your salary by 20 to 50,000, and you want to land a six-figure promotion in 90 days. Without, this is why I was like, we got to talk about this. Without code switching. I am not a fan of code switching. And if you know what that is, if you know what it is, you know what it is. I'm not a fan of that. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that to make six figures. I have actual clients who make 400,000 and they don't code switch. I have a client, she runs a $600,000 business and she does not code switch. You do not need to code switch to make money. Without applying to hundreds of jobs, you don't need to do this either. Without sacrificing your friends and family, or burning out and working crazy hours. We're not doing that. Or your job search does, even in this job market, does not need to be a full-time job. When I hear people say that, I know they don't have a strategy. When you see people saying that on LinkedIn, mute them. That's a spray and pray method, and it's very outdated and it doesn't work. So mute them. Okay, just mute them. You don't need to see that. You're suffering from imposter syndrome. Like, I will share this. Half my clients probably come to me like, yes, I want the six figures. So a lot of times I get women who are already making six figures, but they're feeling like an imposter and they're burning themselves out trying to prove their worth for these six figures. And we're going to work on that too. Or please, let's talk. Before you get another degree, another certification, or a PhD, let's pause for a minute. That is not always necessary. It is not. In fact, if we even go back, the degree, I love certifications. Certifications are good. Let me stop there. But a degree can be very time consuming and costly. And what I find is that people will pause their job search to get a degree, and that degree could take them anywhere from, let's say, 18 months to 3 years. In the meantime, they're still in the same job, in the same role, in the same company, being underpaid. And now you're even farther behind, right? So there is a better way. All right. So this was the next slide before my slides was a little out of order. Let me check the comments. So thanks for saying this because I'm exhausted trying to prove myself. I've been in my industry for 15 years. Yeah, y'all, 10, 15 years, we're done proving. Let me tell y'all, and I thought it was on here when I talk about worker bee versus like, I think it's coming up. And I talk about like worker bee versus queen bee. You're no longer in the proving phase. You're done. You will burn yourself out. It is time to be queen bee. She directs all the bees. She knows what she's doing. She's competent and confident. We are in our prime, so they need us. Yes. Yes. All right. So let's talk about this job market. Y'all just put in the comments what y'all think is going on. Right? We got to get into it. Right? And I'll share what I see, and then also what I learned at this conference. They had about an hour just on the metrics, data, and stats. They literally, yeah, it was people like, but I was so interested in taking notes. It's very interesting what's going on because the numbers show one thing and then we feel something else. Okay. So this is what I have, but you all keep putting it in the comments. It's unpredictable. You got mass layoffs. Remember January? Y'all, January, I'm usually like, yeah, my client's about to get hired. I'm about to get a ton of testimonials. Like January came, and I was like, in fact, my daughter got laid off in January. Like people very close to me got laid off. I was like, clients were getting offers rescinded. I was like, what? Wow. January hit and was not smooth sailing. And usually in previous years, January, I see an uptick in like hiring and then it kind of phases off. This is even for me what I've seen as a career coach. January hit, it was like thousands of layoffs, thousands, not hundreds. It was like, oh, 20,000, 10,000. Whoa, whoa. Now, and that was crazy. and it was budget cuts. I had clients with jobs getting rescinded, roles being frozen. Some companies chose not to lay off, but they did hiring freezes, which then meant all their people there had to work even harder, right? And then we have the introduction of AI, which was the reasoning behind all these layoffs. We see now that wasn't the best thing. They had to hire some of these people back. And I love me some chat GPT, but if y'all have used it, y'all know it ain't about to take over the world just yet, right? Y'all know chat GPT has some challenges, but it was this whole thing going on, right? And then also, we had record low unemployment rates. We had record high new jobs being created, right? Like we had more people starting businesses than ever before, right? So you had all these other things. The stock market was actually doing pretty well too, right? So you had all these things. That's why they were like, it's not quite a recession. We had inflation, housing market. You had some industries being hit hard, some industries hiring like out the wazoo, right? And so it just made for it was like a roller coaster. I saw it. Usually that first quarter, I get a ton of my clients being hired. It didn't happen. My clients didn't start getting hired till I would say April. April hit, and it was like a faster interviewing processes. They were getting offers. I wound up having like 3 clients getting an offer in a week. So like April, May, June, when usually we see that earlier, right? And so one of the things that they said was that in 2023, companies overhire. Do you all remember when they were like, it's a candidates market and these companies were giving double salaries? And I even heard this one company, they needed 2 people, IT people, but because it was so hard to recruit, they hired 6. Right. So they hired 6 people knowing they didn't have 6 people's worth of work to do. And then came 2024 and they laid 5 of them off. Right. The math don't math, but they laid 5 of them off. And then came the middle of the year, that second quarter, I'm sorry, came the Q2, companies hired. And my daughter was one of them. Like she landed a new job, making even more money, remote role. She's living great, but it wasn't a great time in January, right? And so what they stated with these metrics is that because a lot of companies overhired in like late 2022, early 2023, things changed and they let go of all those people. But this is the way they described it, not me. They were like, it was almost like a course correction, but the dip was so drastic that it felt very strong. That's why the unemployment rate was at one point below 4% for like several months. So this, I am not a statistician, position, but this is the way it was explained to me. I know what I saw and what I felt and what my clients felt, and it did feel like, like the cord was ripped from under us. There was no more safety net, right? But I want to know, let me see what you all say. I want to read this. What about people who have less than 10 years? Do we still need to prove ourselves? No. Well, let me say this. No, but if you have 1 year experience, and I know you don't read it, it's a 1 year, you may be in that proven phase, right? But if you have 5 years experience, no, you don't need to necessarily prove yourself, but there is a certain level of like, all right, I'm still learning. At that 10, 15 year mark, yes, you're learning, but you are adding more value than you're learning, if that makes sense. Do you need to be you need to be super tech social media savvy? So it don't hurt to be social media savvy. It don't hurt. Let me be honest. To be honest, I'm lost in this job market. I don't know what's going on. It feels that a little lost. I'll share some things that I think you all need to do. My personal experience is the job market has not been good. I have a lot of difficulty finding jobs. And I'm seeing more jobs. And and when I say now, I mean now, like literally May and June. I'm seeing more jobs and I'm seeing the hiring be faster, but it's not like it was. If I'm just going to be honest, it's not like it was. Companies are strategic. Okay. And to what Clark says, companies are strategically underpaying. They talked about this because somebody brought that up. And I have noticed that the salaries are not what they used to be. I'm gonna just be honest. That doesn't mean you can't get six figures. I'm saying they were paying people 320, 420 for a role that would normally be 150,000, right? So what they explained to that is that when they were doing this massive hiring and it was all this competition, that they were overpaying candidates. Again, not my words, that they were overpaying candidates. And so again, they're like, now the job market is in a course correction. Not my words, this is theirs, but that's how they're explaining now these companies are not paying, budgeted, or willing to give these, and some salaries were outrageous, some weren't, the salaries that they used to give. So what it looks like to us is like, oh, well, now they're trying to underpay for the same roles, right? A lot of new jobs are not real. Some, you just got to watch out. Sometimes I see staffing agencies do that, or, and this came up too. This was so amazing. I was like, it changed everything. Some companies, the recruiter may not know. They put the job out, do all this stuff, and the job wasn't actually approved. And so they had a speaker talk about that. And they were like, before a job is posted, it needs to be 100% fully approved, which takes a little longer to get candidates. But now you're not putting up jobs that they're not really hiring for. And I've had that with clients where it came back and the budgeting was pulled. I'm not even getting to the interview phase. Like they're not even selecting my application. It could be, let's take a look. It could be your resume a little bit, and it could be timing. That was another thing. They were talking about how they're getting 200, 300, 400, sometimes 500 resumes, and like 450 of them could be unqualified, but they still have to go through all of them because AI ain't what everybody thought it was going to be. And so the screening process I learned was different, even for some of these very large companies. I mean, with like 50 to 100,000 employees. So, what does this mean for you and your six-figure promotion? It means you need to use a different strategy. Okay, we're not praying and spraying anymore. You need a different strategy. I'm a, and I'm not saying this to hurt anybody's feelings. So, okay, I'm saying this to be honest. It is not enough to just apply. That is the bare minimum these days. It is the bare minimum. Okay. Just know that. I'm saying this because I want you to win. You cannot just apply and go hit about your day. You can't just apply to 100 jobs and be like, I did my part. That's not it. In fact, if I'm being 100, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. The last few months, none of my clients have gotten roles that they've just applied for. It was always something else that they did. Okay, I'm gonna just be honest. You are going to be seeing longer hiring cycles. So I don't know if you all saw a post that I did about having a mindset strategy too. You need a personal branding strategy and a mindset strategy, because you could think somebody ghosted you. They just took a long time. The recruiter was on vacation. Heck, the recruiter could have got laid off, right? So these longer hiring cycles, they make us feel uneasy. Okay. More competition. You need to stand out. You need to stand out. Recruiters are now doing more with less. That was a lot that I learned. They're doing more with less. So that's going to be less tracking, less follow-up, less getting back to you. You still do your thing. You still send that thank you. You still send those follow-up emails. You still do your thing. They'll see it, but just because they don't respond doesn't mean that they're rude, they're ghosting you. They're just extremely busy too. What this was some of the good things. They were keeping candidates file on deck. I had two clients get hired this way from companies that they were declined for, get roles that they didn't even apply to because the recruiters kept their file on deck. So y'all think like, hey, these companies didn't hire me, they're trash, they're dead to me. No, if you're a good candidate, they're like, oh, you might have been not for that role. But because these recruiters now have hundreds of applications, instead of going through all of those, they may be like, okay, well, I know Tiffany is good. I know Keisha is good, so I'm going to put her in for this other role. So that's the good thing, right? Referrals and relationships. That's it. We have a whole referral process that I teach my clients. This is what I mean by nobody is just applying these days. In fact, I'm gonna just say it, referrals and relationships are more important than your resume. Everybody's like, I need a perfect resume. Okay, perfect resume, great. You're gonna be in with the pile, great. You need to get some referrals and build relationships. And that starts with your brand. You need to know what you want to be known for. If you don't know what you're known for, then how can somebody refer you? How can somebody say, like, I have this, and people like, hey, Latrice, can you do an introduction with me for this person? I'm like, yeah, what you want me to tell them about you? That you, and they'll be like, she's a professional. No, that's not enough. And I'm not saying that. Not on my word, not on my name. When that's what I do. And in fact, I just had a client get hired from an introduction that I made. My clients do, if you are a client of mine, you get access to my network and I do introductions, and she got hired, right? Relationships and referrals, but you need to know your brand. You need to know what you want these people to say about you. Okay. And if you want, feel free to screenshot that. Feel free to tag me. Let me know. I'm gonna check these comments real quick, y'all. I was in a higher cycle for 2 months and it did do, yeah, I'm hearing that. The resume screening process was never good enough for the current run. Yeah. I mean, I'm all right. I want to go through this really quickly, but I want you all to know exactly what personal branding is because I say it a lot. Like, I want people to know what it is. It's your reputation, it's what you stand for, it's who you are at your core, it's your natural gifts, right? So, this is going to be your differentiator, your unique value proposition. This is it, right? And so, your personal brand, yes, your professional goals is part of it. Yes. What you do best, any education. This is why I don't like when y'all don't put your credentials behind your name. That is part of branding. And it's doing double duty. Let me tell y'all this really quickly, and then we're gonna move a little fast. But another thing that came up was like they need to see everything in the top fold. Where it used to be, oh, a recruiter looks at your resume for 7 seconds. Now you got 2 or 3 seconds. And so if you're putting your education at the bottom and you know the role requires a education or a certain degree or certain knowledge, and you got it mixed in, and then you wonder why you got passed over for a job you were qualified for. But what if you didn't show those qualifications? So it is important. So as I'm telling you all this, it's a strategy to this that you need to do, right? And it needs to be up top. We're not burning things in the bottom anymore, okay? Any associations, that's important. What do you enjoy doing? Now companies want to know what else do you have besides I can just do the job? Because here's the thing, everybody they interview is going to be able to do the job. That's it. Especially at the six-figure level. Everybody is going to be competent. What is it about you? And so what you're passionate about, what you enjoy doing, what you've contributed to your current company. All right, volunteering, keywords. These things are important. Other elements of your personal brand that we don't always think of, hair. And you do not need to change your hair, but yes, it is part of your brand. Clothes. Notice I was like, well, let me wear the same outfit. Language, your energy, how you show up. I have people I worked with 10 years ago, and they'll be like, Latrice, what I remembered about you is your energy. Like I had this energy, and this is the thing, my energy is dull compared to my mom. If you saw my mom, you'd be like, oh, Latrice is shy, right? Like she was a star, right? But people will remember your energy and how you showed up, and that is a part of your brand as well. So I want to make this quick, but why? Why is personal branding so important for us as women of color? Here's the thing. We don't always have those mentors and coaches to guide us like other people do, and that's just the truth. When I saw how my boss was being groomed, nobody groomed me. I just had to watch and pick it up, right? Nobody groomed me. I saw like the same people who look like me sit in the same roles 10 one lady had been there 30 years. She was retiring, you guys, and she was making about $15 an hour. And we just don't have it. People may already have their personal biases and opinions about us. That's why, like I said, we need to come in and know our own brand. Also, we are highly educated, talented, hardworking, yet we make less than our male counterparts. This is why when people are like hard work, hard work, hard work. Mm-mm. It can't be that. Hard work is a slice of the pie. It's not the whole pie. It can't be the entire thing. Because we all know lazy people that's making more money than us. And we know hardworking people that's broke, right? There is a balance. And at some point, and I'm going to tell y'all, especially for y'all who got 10, 15 years experience, your network is now more important than your hard work. Like now, you should not go into an interview talking about how hard of a worker you are. You should be talking about the strategies that you've come up with, the accomplishments that you've done, initiatives that you've started. Your language should be different. But we don't always have people to tell us that. The current social justice environment, we've got Supreme Court rulings. I don't know if y'all heard, they trying to stop the Freedom Fund, the Fearless Fund. There's all type of things going on. And then culturally, you guys, and I have worked with women of color from all over the world. And one commonality is that we are all taught not to brag. Don't talk highly about ourselves. Don't highlight your accomplishments. Let your work speak for itself. And while those things have been passed down and at some point might have been true and helped us in 2024, that's not what's going to get you the promotion and the money. That is what will give you hard work. I even had a client tell me that her boss was like, "Oh, I thought you liked doing all the work." I was like, "Girl, you need to rebrand." And I always say this is my trade secret. Think Michelle Obama, like change the narrative. She said people said that she was aggressive, demanding, condescending, outspoken. I've been called all these things, mostly demanding. I've been called demanding, but let me know if you've ever been called any of these things. And she said she decided she wasn't bossy, she was strong. She said, I wasn't loud, I was a young woman with something to say. This is what I mean by change the narrative. And you don't use the same words that they use about you. You're going to give them the language to speak about you. Let me tell y'all, personal branding is $1 million skill. I was listening to this lady on YouTube talk, and she's like this famous what did she does like products, and she was like, your personal brand is like your own personal ATM. I was like, yes, I'm trying to tell people this. But she was on this podcast not hosted by people like us, and she was not the same color as us as well. And I was like, but we need to listen. She was telling the truth. She was telling the truth. So I want to share 3 mistakes that women of color make with their personal brand. And I'm going to tell you, as I go through these mistakes are costing you time, they're costing you money, they're costing you your 6-figure promotion, they're costing you your peace of mind, it's giving you stress, probably some heartache, probably health issues, it's probably keeping you in a toxic environment that you know you've outgrown. All right, let me check the comments. I'm tired of working hard and being thanked only for y'all. Don't I thank you. They may give you pizza though. Thank you for pizza. This is true networking. Value prop. Yeah, when referred. How helpful is the market? Do you think is an active LinkedIn? Oh my God. LinkedIn. LinkedIn is changing the game. However, I used to be like, LinkedIn is most important. Now it's those referrals and relationship building, and you can do that offline. You don't need to go through LinkedIn. I like LinkedIn to find people and to help you get found. LinkedIn it can like job search for you in the background while you're asleep or while you're at work. So that I love LinkedIn. If you all don't know, I'm on it all the time. But there are now other ways. Embody Keisha, I'm not I can't repeat to y'all are funny. You'll be sending us. No, I'm not going to send the PowerPoint. I don't send the PowerPoint out because this is my proprietary. You can take a screenshot though. And I will send out the replay. We keep the replay up for a limited time. They say, they say, oh, you deserve a promotion, but it's not a budget. Oh, let me tell you, I call that a promotion promise. Like, oh, when we get the funds, yo, let me tell you what they're doing now. They telling people they got a promotion. Maybe they give you the time, maybe they don't. Definitely give you the work, but don't give you the money. Don't take that. Just keep doing what you're doing. All right. So here are the 3 mistakes women of color make when it comes to personal branding. And I'm going to go into detail about each one of them. But I want you to tell me which one do you think you're making, 1, 2, or 3. You don't truly understand your personal brand. You're like, I just don't really know what it is. Like, I don't get it. Like, you think you have one, maybe you're the hard. Let me tell you, you could tell, are you the hard worker? Are you the worker bee? Are you the mama? You know, if you're the mama, everybody come to you, they're like, do you make lunch? You got this, you got some candy. Don't, you ain't no, you're your coworkers' mamas. No. Are you the undercover boss? The undercover boss is like you're doing all your boss's work. The people above you are coming to you. The people, your coworkers are coming to you. Your colleagues coming to you. Like the people under you coming to you. You doing your boss's job. That's what I call the undercover boss. If any of these is yours, that means you don't truly understand your brand and you need to rebrand immediately. All right. Or you separate your gift from your work for whatever reason. I love y'all. But my women of color, y'all be like, oh, if something come easy to me, no, that's too easy. I like it comes too easy. I should do something that comes hard. I had like we want to get good. Like we like, I want to get better at networking. Knowing you're an introvert, don't worry about that. We do something else. Knowing you hate going out here networking, right? It's like you could be great at something you're good at or already gifted at instead of like it's a harder curve. We're gonna talk about that too. It's like just take the path of least resistance. You get to choose your own brand and the vehicle that you want to use. You get to do that, right? Or you don't know how to sell your personal brand. I'm gonna get on this. This is my favorite. So, not truly understanding your brand. Again, you're like, I know what brand I have. I don't know. We're going to take a self assessment really quickly. You remember I said pen and paper? I'm going to go over this and I'll read the comments, right? And we have this. This is one of the things we do inside the program. And we do this because you need to discover who you are and what your brand is before you even like go to ask for a referral, go networking, stand up and do an introduction if you don't really know what you want to be known for. So think about this and you can write it down. What do you want to be known for? What do you want people to say about you when you're not in the room? What comes easy to you but not to others? Okay. And I'm looking at some of these one, twos, three. All three. Y'all, why y'all putting all three? Y'all have me laughing. So three, maybe all three. One, okay. Y'all got me laughing. Think about that. Put that in. This is what I call the solution. You need to discover who you are. When you know your gifts and how valuable they are, you show up differently. You don't hesitate to ask for what you want or go after what you want. Y'all, I spoke to someone the other day and they were telling me about this job and these jobs they want and all these jobs they saw. I said, oh, great. How many did you apply to? And she was like, none. I said, you didn't apply to any? And she was like, no, I didn't qualify for any. I'm like, I was like, so nothing you do in your current role correlates to anything you want to do. And she was like, well, yeah. I was like, exactly. You have to know who you are. Inside the Fearless Branding Formula, you guys, this is why we have a section on how to calculate your contributions. You need to know what you bring to the table. And it is, again, it ain't just hard work. You need to add metrics to that. Okay. You need to be able to see, even when you want to pivot, that there's probably some overlap or commonality with what you've already done in the past with what you want to do in the future. All right. But you need to go through this process. We have a whole workbook on it to help you do this. And then this is my client, Irene. Oh my God, I love Irene. She was even on the podcast. So I don't know if you all follow me on the podcast, but she was on there. She really talked about her path and her story as well. But before FBF, she was struggling to get promoted. Same promoted promise. They was like, hey, dude, they kept having her do things. And then they promoted all the people around her, right? But they would never deliver. So she was getting the promotion promise, but they never actually gave her the promotion. She thought her salary range was too high. And I see some of this with you all. Y'all like, I'm getting declined. I'm getting declined. So we think instead of it's the strategy, we think, oh, it must be my salary. I'm like, no, it's just your strategy. It's not your salary range. But she actually was like, she wanted 25,000. She thought it was too high. She didn't realize she even had a personal brand. So she was the number one. She's like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if I have a personal brand. And she kept getting rejection notices after the interviews. With her, what we really had to work on was her identifying her gift. She has this true passion for HR, and she was really good with like metrics and numbers when it came to HR, right? Like, but it was just her passion. It oozed, but she wasn't speaking on it. And what made her so unique and different? And I think it was Rita who talked about if you have less than 10 years. She had less than 10 years experience. I think she had 5 years. She had 5 years experience. And somebody else had told her she needed to pay her dues. And I was like, girl, you're done. These are done. These are paid. Let's go. Right. So she wound up landing a six-figure promotion, fully remote with a great company, a $50,000 base salary increase. And she had messaged me. Irene is a first-gen immigrant, and she messaged me and told me that this was the highest amount of money anyone in her family has ever made. This is what I meant by like, what would you unlock? She's now an example for her family about what's possible, right? She used her brand and her gifts during the interview. That's why all this is so important. You don't just know your brand and be like, oh, this is good on a piece of paper. No, you actually use it in your job search and in your career. She showed up as her authentic self. She increased her confidence. She wound up negotiating her title, her bonus, and her certification in the offer. Remember, if you don't have a certification right now, it's fine. And you want one, you can have the company pay for it. And she wound up starting her own consulting business. This is another thing I can tell you guys, since 2020, about 90% of my clients start their own business. This is one of the things. We do have a business bundle inside the FBF, inside the program, because so many of my clients have started their business. And she bought a new house. Remember, we asked, like, what would this unlock for you all? This is what it unlocked for her. All right. Number two, you separate your gift from your work. Let me go back. Meaning, if you know you got the gift of gab, but you like, but I don't want to do that. I want to work on my resume. I'm like, but if you got the gift of gab, go out there and talk to people. Or if you're an amazing writer, but you're like, I really want to learn how to network. I'm like, or you would probably benefit from writing let's get you an amazing LinkedIn profile, and you're going to bring in recruiters to you. This is what I mean by using your gift. Don't separate it. A lot of times we think because something comes easy to us, we shouldn't utilize it. We shouldn't use it. Y'all, I've I've always been quite the talker since I was a teenager. Early on, I didn't talk too much. That's why I get along so much with introverts. I was a middle child, so I was a very much an introverted child. So any of my introverts out there were kindred spirits. And then as I got older, I kind of came out of my shell, right? And I was like, oh, should I charge people to talk to them? Like it is like, but this comes so easy to me, and I have all this stuff. Yes, this is what you were meant to do. You don't want to separate it, and you can't get mad when other people use their gift. You can't get mad when Joe Smo using his gift of gab and he out here going to happy hour and you choosing to do something else with your gift. You can't be mad either when somebody else uses their gift. So don't separate your gift from your work. This is what this is what gets you to the top. This is how you explain how you do things better, faster, quicker, because you have this unique gift. And your gift can be a combination of skills, of unique skills and unique education. Your gift could be a different perspective. Like if you're one of these people and you're a big picture thinker, and I am like that, like I don't like to get in the nitty gritty and the minutia of things. That's why you saw my slides was out of order, all that, right? I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna change lives, right? I don't like to get into the nitty gritty, but I can use that. I can hire somebody who like to get into the nitty gritty of things, but you need to be using that, okay? Here's one of the things. Apply, and I call this apply and attract six-figure opportunities. So many times, and I said this, we try to get better at things we're bad at instead of trying to be great at things we're gifted at. Leverage your gifts, use them throughout your career. And I always say this, hint, hint, your gift is usually the thing you get complimented on the most and complaints on the most, all right? Your gift lies in the middle. Like when you're talking to your boss about a promotion or LinkedIn or on your resume, all these times you should be using your gift, okay? And I got to tap into your gifts at work and make it easy. Your personal brand should show everywhere in the interviews, when you are networking, in your branding, on LinkedIn, on your resume, everywhere. Like if you've gone to another branding class or you work with somebody and they had you write a statement and they were like, "You're done. This is so great." This ain't it. Your brand is more than a statement, okay? Oh, I wanted to share, this is Sade, my beautiful client. And Sade, if any of you all, she's in public health, and she sent a lot of applications for new jobs. So before we started working together, a lot of applications, and she wasn't getting any callbacks. So for some of you or her, like she had the education, master's degree experience, and she wasn't getting any callbacks. She was struggling with showing up. She was feeling frustrated. She was having trouble communicating her value, and she didn't know how to talk about what she did in her previous roles. Sade is a brilliant writer, brilliant writer. I was like, we're going to tap into that. Right. She also didn't have time to look for a new job because she's married and has three small kids. At one point, she had all three boys under four. Right. So what we worked on was like we're gonna leverage her gifts and use them in her job. So she was an excellent writer. We're like, all right, let's write these, let's use your talents to reformat your LinkedIn profile. Let's use your talents to send out personalized moving messages. Because where some of us may be in our head and it could take us 20, 30 minutes to write something, she could write it in 5 minutes and it'd be brilliant. So she started to ask for what she wants. Now she knows exactly how to highlight her strengths now on paper and in person. That is really important. She stands out in the job market. She increased her confidence. She got her ideal job with a $20,000 increase, and she got promoted again. And she got promoted again. I like to tell you all kind of like the epilogues because this comes up and people like, what if I don't keep it? This comes up of like when you know your brand, you should be getting promoted again or know how to get another role. But she's able to keep that promotion and get promoted again within the same company. All right. Number three, you don't know how to sell your personal brand. And let me know if you sell in hard work. Oh, I check these comments. I love that. You all are so engaging. I love this. This answer is not in the room. Oh, she's strategic and executes. That's great, Dominique. Irene is awesome. She is. Irene is also one of the people I interviewed her for the podcast, and then we do a six-figure interview clinic that we have inside the Fearless Branding Formula. And I interview some clients, and she's one of the clients that comes on and she talks, and she's very passionate, she's very real, and she shares her story. Known for my passion for patients and their quality of health. This is so good, you guys. This employees market, is it still possible to have an amazing offer? Yeah, Rita, I've had several clients get amazing offers. I mean, in the 200s recently. So yes, it's an employer's market. I still wouldn't even say that because just based on again the numbers, it's more like equal, but it's different skill sets that are required. And some of the things that I am recommending to my clients is that they're open and that they expand the type of job titles that they're interested in. And you'll see like some of the industries that are hot is like healthcare, government contracting, like really hot industries right now. Oh, God gets in tells you need to own. Yes. I'm definitely selling hard work, which is ironic because I absolutely don't want to work as hard as I have to at this point. Yes. No, and you don't have to. So this is why you need to be selling your brand and not selling hard work, you guys. Okay. For real. Like we do not, if you're going in and the way you describe yourself is I'm a hard worker. I'll go in there. I'll do whatever. I'll answer the phones. I'm willing to start. I'm willing to even be the janitor. And and I'm saying that as an example, but that is a real answer that somebody told me. She was like, I don't know why I didn't get the job. I told them I would do anything. I was like, they're not going to pay you $150,000 to answer the phone. At $150,000, they want you to solve the problem of one, why the phone is not being answered, and two, go get somebody to answer these phones. But they're not going to, they can pay somebody $15 an hour to answer the phone. So just know when you do that, you're actually lowering your value versus if you were to say, hey, I found $1 million billing error and saved my company $1.5 million year after year. Do you see the difference? versus I'm a hard worker. And don't you ever mention, and don't be mentioning spreadsheets. Like, and I go through the spreadsheets. You mean you create and analyze reports, useful reports and analytics and metrics? Language comes into play too, you guys, okay? So here's the solution. Your gifts are the reason you solve the problem so easily. You want to sell your brand. We're not selling hard work anymore. Okay, you will get stuck in that worker bee role if you don't start selling strategy and solutions. You should be selling, this is the problem I solve, this is the strategy I use, and this is why I do it faster, better than anyone else. And that is your brand. Okay, you should be showing up and showing out. Your gifts equals the six-figure promotion. It should probably say your brand equals the six-figure promotion. All right. So this is my client Teresa, and I love this story. I knew she was in here. I didn't know where, and I love this story so much because she was actually declined for this role. The role that she got, she was declined about 2 years earlier because she didn't have industry experience. So for all of you all who like, I want to pivot, I want to switch, I don't have industry experience. This is how we knew it was her brand because everything else stayed the same. Nothing else changed. So before she joined the Fearless Branding Formula, she was traveling 50 miles to work. 50 miles each way. She was never home. She was overworking. She was already making six figures, you guys, but she was miserable. So, what's the point of making all this money if you can't see your family and it's not bringing you peace? It doesn't make sense, right? She was getting declined for roles she knew she was qualified for. Again, where if you all are in this position, it could be your strategy, it could be your branding, and how you're showing the qualifications on the resume. She was like, Latrice, she was like, I'm tired. She was like, I tried everything. She got her resume redone several times, several times. I was like, girl, this is what I'm saying. It wasn't the resume. I was like, girl, leave this resume alone. She had her resume done several times. She had her LinkedIn done several times. She had all these people doing things, but nobody dealt with her brand. So they were just rewriting her same narrative. Just know this is why it's so important with personal branding, because if not, you're just gonna rewrite your same narrative. It's not the resume writer's fault. I have a resume writer on staff. They can only write what you give them, right? This is why you need to be doing that work and you need to know your personal brand. So after the Fearless Branding Formula, she was hired for a role she was previously declined for. She didn't have industry experience. The only thing that changed was her brand. And she went in there and she was like, she went from retail to healthcare, y'all. Healthcare is hiring, and healthcare has every role: finance, HR, IT, everything, compliance, everything. Healthcare has everything, same as the government. And she was like, I may not have industry experience, but I know people and I can get your people situation straight. Healthcare is a service industry. She was like, I can learn the industry. And this is how you got to know how you're better than the next person. She said, most people can't learn people. And that's true. You ever have a bad boss? But they may knew how to do their job, but they was bad with people, couldn't supervise worth a damn. She knew people. And she was so clear on her branding statement, so clear. So she landed that six-figure promotion as an HR director, a hybrid role, a great company, a $30,000 base salary. And we don't have it on here, but she also had a $20,000 bonus. She aced that six-figure interview around the same time she passed her SHRM certification. So she did not have a certification when she was going through the interview process. Okay. And now she spends more time with her family and she is at peace. I want you to hear me out. You can make six figures, still spend time with your family, and be at peace. You do not have to sacrifice these things. And honestly, y'all, six figures is just a minimum. I was going, I was like, I may even do an email or a post about this. How, like, women of color, we need to make minimum of six figures these days. It's a minimum what you need to make. All right. Oh, bonus mistake, not negotiating. Let's be Negotiating is my favorite thing to do. Like I told y'all, I negotiated straight out of college. I've been negotiating every role that I have ever had. And that was because I had an older sister who taught me. And until this day, I am so thankful and grateful. I negotiate contracts. I just got a corporate contract. I negotiate everything. But let's be honest, it's how many of you all are not negotiating? Not negotiating. Studies have shown that not negotiating has cost women nearly $750,000 throughout their career. You guys, that's nearly $1 million because we won't speak up and say, no, I won't accept this. This is not enough. Sade, most of these clients I'm telling you all negotiated some portion of their offer. Okay. Oh, this is my client, Francina. I love her. She was in another 2 rounds before. And this is amazing. I love her. Originally, she said no. Originally, she was like, no, Latrice, I'm not going to join FBF. I was like, okay, cool. And I have this a lot. People, uh-oh. She's like, no, I'm not gonna join. I was like, okay, fine, it's all good. And then she eventually came back at the last minute. Like I think we had already started, and she had came in, and she was already making 6 figures, but she felt like she should be further in her career. So how many of you all feel this way? Like, oh, I think I should be further. She was having challenges with her boss, and I'm gonna say this and then leave it. Your boss is not your career coach. They don't care about your career. Like you can be like, I don't like this. I want more. Yeah, your boss is your boss. There are ways to talk to them to get the raise and get the promotion, but they're not your career coach, okay? Even the best and friendliest of bosses, right? She didn't know what her next move would be, and she had imposter syndrome. So what we worked on is really learning the art of the 6-figure interview and negotiating. She got her dream role. She was one of the highest income, like the highest jumps I think I've had in my program in FBF, because she got a $55,000 base increase. And I remember we worked together and she negotiated a $60,000 relocation package, because she was, I think she had to relocate to Florida and she had kids. And one of the things that we also worked on was that we negotiated for her to stay home for 6 months until they reload, so she could relocate her kids because her kids had school. So I've seen people on LinkedIn be like, everything is not negotiable. Yes, it is. That recruiter just hasn't seen it yet. Everything. She negotiated that relocation bonus. She negotiated the fact that she could work remote for 6 months, and she negotiated a sign-on bonus. And then here's the other thing with Francina. While I mentioned that imposter syndrome, she wound up getting the role 2 levels up. So not her boss's role, but what would have been her boss's boss. This is what I mean. If you in that category of undercover boss, it's just a matter of knowing your brand and building your confidence. For you, you could be 2 levels up. You could be 2 levels up. Like this was almost like I was like, I should calculate this increase and have the total number. But I was like, I was so excited and so proud for her when she told me. And you can see she's kind of like shy. And she was like, oh, I just want to let you all know that we got this. It was amazing, you guys. Amazing. And I'm sharing this so that you all see what's possible for you. So you know this is still possible. You can negotiate your vacation. Yeah, you can negotiate vacation and healthcare. I've had clients that negotiate healthcare coverage or healthcare coverage for like their kids or something like that. Yeah, you can negotiate staying at home. Again, she eventually had to go in and relocate, but yeah, she negotiated that she could stay 6 months there at home. All right. I'm so glad you're, yes. So here is my 3-step process for creating a powerful brand. This is what we just went through. Discover your gift. All right. This is my fearless branding formula process. So when you're like, Latrice, how do you do it? How is it being done? We're going to be mastering our personal brand. How do we master our personal brand? This is it. You need to discover your gift, know what you want, and value those gifts. You need to be applying and attracting to 6-figure opportunities. This is part of the plan, not looking and just looking and having all these tabs up. I'm going to make sure you're applying and you're to craft your brand and use it. We're not going to write a branding statement and then leave it in the book and close it. No, we're going to use it. And then acing that 6-figure interview. 6-figure interviews are different from other interviews. That's just the truth. This is why we need to be selling branding versus hard work. We're not selling that anymore. You're going to show up and show out. We're changing our language and we're not selling hard work anymore. Okay. Let me know if y'all like, all right, we got it. This makes sense. All right. So you do not take anyone else's negative perception of your gift. You need to flip the script, change the narrative, and own your brand. This is how you're going to stand out in the market. This is how you're going to be getting those callbacks. This is how you're going to be getting recruiters reach out to you on LinkedIn. All right. So do you all see how powerful personal branding can be when done right? I always say, like, I had to highlight that because I've had people be like, oh no, I shouldn't laugh, but I had this lady tell me, she was like, oh no, I've had somebody do my branding. See my pictures? And it was a picture. It's like, ma'am, that's not branding. I told you that. That is not your personal brand, right? When done right. When done right. All right. So what you've just learned, why personal branding is important for women of color in the workforce and in business. You can use these same skills, same techniques in business as well. How to make yourself more marketable and beat out the competition in this market. Okay. My 3-step process for creating an irresistible personal brand, my fearless branding formula, and how to change the narrative and take back control of your brand. Right. So I am here to help. Let me move this. I am here to help you. So if you are like, Latrice, girl, but I need some help, I am here to help you. But I'm also here to help you think differently about work and money. You can earn more money by using your gifts. You do not need to sell hard work. It's only but so much hours in a day. You know it's got to be something else because there are only 40 hours in a day, 40 hours in a week, sorry, that you want to work. Let's say that you want to work, and they're only 24 hours in a day. And so when you see people making 100, 150, 200,000, and you know good and well they're not working as hard as you know they're not. It's got to be something else. And this is our specialty inside the Fearless Branding Formula. And if you haven't heard me say this before, you will hear me say this now. You will hear me say it again too. You have to learn to disconnect time and money. Like it's like even in your business, in your career, you need to disconnect time and money, and then you start selling something else. You don't sell your time anymore. You can sell your strategy, you can sell your gift, you can sell your perspective, you can sell your unique process, but you're not selling your time anymore. Like if y'all get nothing else, you're gonna get some connections, and I want you to be like separating my time, separating the connection of time and money. This is how you sell your brand. Okay. And so I've been talking a lot about like the fearless branding formula, right? And I want to share with you all why I created this. I used to sell like everything a la carte, and people were like, I just need a resume. And then they needed more. And then they'd be like, I need LinkedIn, and I need an interview prep, and I need another round of interview prep. And then I get update, and then I need branding. And I was like, oh, well, separately, it was like 10K. But I'm like, all right, I could put this in a package and it would be much, much cheaper in a package and in a community because I understand the power of community. Okay. So, what is the fearless branding formula? It is that. It is my years of experience seeing what people need, and it is my career promotions, personal branding, and mindset program. These are the pieces: career promotions, personal branding, and mindset program. The Fearless Branding Formula, it helps women of color master their personal brand so they can land that 6-figure promotion and increase their salary by $20,000 to $50,000 regardless of the job market. So that's what it's used for. And I'm going to be very upfront. You cannot separate mindset from career promotions from personal branding. Those cannot be disconnected. Okay. But when you do them and you master that skill, that's when you can easily land that 6-figure promotion. That's when you can easily get that increase, that salary of 20 to 50,000, regardless of the job market. And I say that because no matter what's going on in the job market, they always have to hire people. And America, the job market can be volatile, but it's still pretty good. Like our unemployment rate ranges around like what, 3.9, 4.2%, somewhere like that. So companies do eventually hire. We know that. And you want to be the ones who are getting hired first. That's what you want. You want to be the first pick, the first call, right? All right. Again, this is my formula. This is what we're going to go through. This is what the FBF includes. We have the six-figure resume review. So I have a professional. She is actually I call her my six-figure interview expert. She is amazing at interviewing. She makes six figures herself, and she is a woman of color, and she does the resume reviews, and she does your LinkedIn audits. You get 12 weekly group coaching sessions. And I'm telling y'all, this is the transformation happens in the group coaching and in that community aspect. And you get, I said 6 months of career teaching. However, with the recent job market, I have increased that to 12 months. So people always ask, like, how long do I get access to the course? You're now getting 12 months of access. So we have that 3 months of coaching together, and then you get 12 months access to the course with the replays. So no matter what's going on with the job market, you can go in and learn what you need. Again, you're going to have that supportive community of like-minded women. Y'all, community is so important. Before, even with my private clients, I noticed community was missing. I was like, no, 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 no. You need to be around other people who are going to support you, uplift you, pour into you. All right. The six-figure attraction system, which is that LinkedIn audit. It's personalized to you to help you attract recruiters in your inbox on autopilot. The six-figure interview clinic to help you easily ace that six figures. The six-figure interview, a roadmap to your six-figure promotion success. And again, you're getting those three main elements, which is the coaching, the community, and that course. This is going to take care of the bulk of like what you need. Inside of there, we work on your mindset, getting you a career promotion, and mastering your brand. Okay? And so I always get this question like, okay, Latrice, so what is the investment? What is the investment? So here it is to master your personal brand so you can land a six-figure promotion and increase your salary by $20,000 to $50,000. There is an investment. There's an investment of $3,000. I chose this price because it is significantly less than how it would be if we pieced everything together. It is also significantly less than if you were to go back to school and get a new degree. And if you were to work with me privately, it would be $10,000. And even in my other program, my leadership legacy is more than this. So I chose this price because I want people to have skin in the game. I want you to be able to have something, and I want you to be able to put in the work. But you want to have some skin in the game as well. But there is an investment. You can do 3,000 pay in full, and then you get a private VIP call with me. That call is valued at $900. You get it for 500. I'm sorry, you get it for free, actually. Or you can do flexible payment plans via Affirm, right? I love this option. I would say most of my clients use payment plans and they use Affirm, and the payment plans can be as low as $104 a month, y'all. Okay, I think that's like $26 a week. That is Chick-fil-A money. I know we probably go to, I ain't gonna lie, I go to Chick-fil-A about every week with my son, and we spend more than $26, okay? So I wanted to share this. If you all know, I'm very transparent. I put the investment in every email. So this is not even the first time y'all saw this in every email. And I like to explain why and what the investment is as well, and what you're going to be getting in return, and what your return on the investment is. Okay. Now we have bonuses. We're going to have 3 guest speakers. We have a self-love and happiness workshop in there, and it's called How to Love Yourself to Six Figures. Amazing. It is actually taught by my sister, who I helped get six figures and multiple six figures. So, and I want to take it back. When I asked you all, what would this unlock? I wasn't the first person in my family to make six figures. I have an older sister. She was the first person in my entire family. I never saw any Black woman make six figures. My sister was the first person. Now we have 7 women in my family that make six figures or more. Different ways, different industries, but they make six figures and multiple six figures. So when we talk about what this unlocks, what this changes for you guys, it can be a domino effect for your family. But I just wanted to mention that. We have a finance workshop. Oh, we're going to have a guest speaker for anyone who wants to like travel abroad or live abroad. We're actually, is Taisha on here? Taisha's actually going to be our guest speaker, and she lived in Japan for 10 years, and she's going to be speaking on how to do global travel and live abroad as a Black woman. So powerful, because I have so many clients that are like, all right, I want to get this money and live in a different country. I'm like, let's do it. Let's do it. Also, a bonus, how to keep your promotion and be fireproof. The training is inside. That is valued at 2,000. Then we also have the bonus, how to overcome a toxic environment as a woman of color. Let me tell you why this is in here. I've seen so many of you all educated, talented, amazing, hardworking, smart. I mean, the adjectives go on and on. And then you don't see that you stand in this toxic environment is literally suffocating you. It's literally stealing your confidence. Like I told someone, I was like, it's hard to breathe clean air in a toxic environment. You can't even think clearly. You're in such a toxic environment. So we don't understand either that when we leave that environment, if we don't have some sort of detox or a way of overcoming it, we tend to bring those same perspectives, fears into the new environment, even when the new environment isn't toxic, you guys. Okay. So this is why we have this. And then we have the 21-day career confidence workshop. This I am excited about. You get 21 days of different challenges and tips to do to build your confidence. I've had people say at the end of this, their confidence went from a 2 to an 8. They wound up asking for things they never asked for before. Amazing. All of this is free inside the program. And then I also have this about the guarantee. And I am telling people, this is not like, oh, you guarantee that I'm going to get a job in 30 days, in 90 days. No, I guarantee that you will know everything you need, the steps, the mindset, the resume, everything you need to do to get that six-figure promotion and increase your salary by $20,000 to $50,000. Okay. And so the Fearless Branding Formula is open for enrollment. If this is something you want to enroll in, and I recommend it, you can go to sixfigurepromotion.com, or you can put the QR code, you can put your phone up to the QR code, and you will have the option. If you know, like Latrice, I am ready, 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 you can go ahead and hit the enroll button and enroll now. If you're like, hey, Latrice, I got a couple things I just want to talk to you about first, you can book a call and we can talk about you getting enrolled. All right, let me check the comments. But start putting in your questions too. Toxic environment is the worst. Yes. What does it mean? Oh, multiple six figures, over 200. Over 200 is what multiple. Y'all gonna learn the language of the six figures too. So thank you, Lord. It's a good question. I do just by hearing that, like you now see what's possible. Yes. I want you all to watch that self-love workshop. I want you to see a woman of color making 200K. Actually, she makes over 200K. And I'll share this, my business is on track to make over 200K this year. I want you all to know, and there are so many different ways that you can make 200K. Do you still get a meeting with you if you go with the payment plan? You can. We have an option if you want to like add on or like purchase it, but it's not free, but it is at a discounted rate. So that was a good question if we go with the payment plan. Let me check these questions, you guys. Competitive pricing, you're being fair, the competition of, oh yeah, I know the price. I know what other people charge, and they charge about, I would say 2 to 3 times as much, and they don't have my results. I know that. Like, not to toot my own horn, but I get referrals from therapists, other career coaches, like they refer people to me. Oh, wait a minute. It moved up so fast. That's my full time. My boss told me to stop asking. Oh my goodness, stop asking him questions where we went in private because it felt like pushback. Clark, I had a client that went through that. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not your coach right now, but what the solution was for her was she had to leave. Like literally, it was the same thing. They asked her to stop asking. They were like, "Oh, we want you to stop asking questions." Her boss. I was like, "You have to go." She left, just to let you know, and Oh, she put up some resistance. When I was like, you could find a better place, she was like, you trying to take the food out my kids' mouths. I mean, it was so dramatic, y'all. I was like, okay. And I do share this. It will be some point, y'all will not like me, but you will know Latrice has my best interest in mind. And because I was like, hey, you need to leave that company. Like all the branding in the world cannot fix a toxic boss, right? And so after some pushback from back and forth, she wound up leaving. Great job. Love the company that she is with. She's literally been promoted 3 times. They gave her equity, and this has only been like a year and a half. Like they absolutely love her. And to make a long story short, let me tell you about branding, how she got this. After she realized, like, all right, she has to leave, she saw a position. She realized that somebody she used to work with 15 years ago worked there. He wound up being on the board. He was like, hey, I can't get you hired, but I can get you an interview. I can just talk to somebody. Got her the interview. She got hired. When they hired her, they told her, hey, we had another candidate we were going to give the offer to, but your interview was so stellar, we gave it to you. She knew her brand. She put herself out there. She was showed up and she was willing to network. But you got to, I can't tell you what you got to do, Clark, but I'm just saying, if I was your coach, I would be like, you can't stay there. Branding can only fix but so much. I have an upcoming interview within the next 24 days. How fast does the program move on branding yourself? Very quickly, we start July 18th, but you get immediate access to all of the curriculum. So like if you enroll today, within it's automated. Within seconds, you get access to the portal and you can go in and watch the videos about interviewing. And let me just share this. I think this is my next one. So if you're on the fence, we have a 48-hour bonus called 5 and 15. So when you enroll within the first 48 hours, you get the 5 and 15 challenge. So whether you choose to enroll or if you schedule a call with me, if you're like, all right, Latrice, I'm going to schedule this call with you, and that's at my Calendarly. Within the first 48 hours, you get the challenge. So this is the 5 and 15 interview challenge. This is my infamous interview challenge to help you land 5 interviews in 15 days. Yes. Interviews, not just interviews for nothing, interviews for your ideal role and a 6-figure salary. We're going to have a kickoff call, and then you're going to get daily videos for 15 days straight. We do get you started with like a getting started guide, and then you'll see when we have our kickoff call scheduled. And then 15 days straight, you're going to have little tips and tricks you're going to do to help you land 5 interviews in 15 days. And we have community support in Slack. And one interview, you guys, could lead to an offer and pay off the program. And you would have a huge return on investment. And I moved this in my last round. I did this at the end, and I was like, no, we're doing this at the beginning now. We're doing this now. You get your 5 and 15 challenge. I highly recommend this. This could change the trajectory of your job search and of your career in the next 30 days. So I would highly recommend, even if you're on the fence, go to sixfigurepromotions.com. You can book a call with me and we can chat. If you're like, Latrice, I'm ready, and you already know, go to sixfigurepromotion.com. And I can put the link in here. Or can somebody type that in for me? How do you promote your services on social media? I am a huge of promoting other business women on platforms. Oh, thank you, Yvonne. I am not on IG. I need to be on IG and Facebook. Right now, I am primarily on LinkedIn. There are many people who are shy or contemplating that they can benefit from your services. Feel free to share. Thank you, thank you, Rakisha. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, she put that in there. Yes, you all can go to that link. What did I do with my slide? There we go. Thank you. I wish I could pin it. Let me see how to pin that. But yes, go to sixfigurepromotion.com. You'll see you can either enroll now or book a call. But either one that you click, as long as you follow through, you will go ahead and get the 5 and 15 challenge. I highly recommend it. This is going to be life changing and career changing right here. I am, out of everything, I am the most excited for this. This is something I've done this myself. I challenged myself to get like 5 sales calls in 15 days or five speaking engagements in 15 days, and it really works. Let me see this. I have a couple of ideas for your website layout. Thank you. Thank you. Look, let me know if you know a way. It's like, oh, we're gonna make this a little easier for people to look at, to see and enroll. Thank you. Rita, let me know. I give you a reference and everything. Like, let me know if we can barter some services here. Let me know. So if you're like, hey, is FBF for me? This is how you're gonna know. Do you want to increase your salary about 20 to 50,000 in any job market? Do you have degrees, certifications, and you're qualified, but you're not getting paid? This is for you. If you've tried it on your own, y'all, and I have had people be like, I tried that. I sit laugh. So I was like, I read a book. Y'all, if this was in a book, we would just get things delivered from get the book from Amazon, and then we all have six-figure jobs. It's like, it's not in a book. And I love books. I read like 2-3 books a month. But everything is not in a book, especially when you're talking about today's job market. I highly recommend books, and I have resources that I recommend that will help you. But you don't need to keep trying to figure it out. Do it on your own. Read a book. Look on YouTube. Look on LinkedIn. Google things. The new thing is TikTok. And let me just tell y'all, a TikTok influencer is not a career coach. They're a TikTok influencer. Just know that piece, right? And all that sounds good. Tell your boss this and say that. That sounds good on TikTok, but we don't do that in reality, right? So that don't, you don't need to keep trying to piecemeal it and doing it. It takes so long. It's so long that way, okay? If you're ready to take your career to the next level, if you're like, I'm working, trying to prove, if you're like, all right, and you want to land a new job where you feel valued. If you know you want a six-figure salary, and again, you want to travel, have a life you enjoy, maybe be the rich auntie, maybe just spend more time with your family or live abroad, you need the funds to do that. You need the funds, you need the freedom, the capacity to do that. All right. If you know you deserve more, but you feel stuck, or if you're frustrated with the job search process. All right. But start putting in your questions, you guys. We're pretty much at the end. So put in your questions, and then also you can start commenting here, because when you stay to the end, you get a special gift as well. So if you're like, I'm different, I know people always ask, they're like, but my situation is different. And yes, you are different. Every situation is unique. And I have worked with several different types of clients and had success with women of color all over the countries, Nigeria, Ireland, England, many more, people with different backgrounds, people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. I had my oldest client was 72. I've worked with caregivers, single moms, married moms, busy professionals, rich aunties, LGBTQ. And this is a safe space for you all, and this will work for you. And you can get six figures and an increased salary in all industries. This is a question I get a lot. It's like, what about blank industry? What about the government? Yes. What about teachers? If you are a teacher, we have a whole section on how to transition out of teaching successfully. Graphic designers, lawyers, attorneys, HR, nonprofit, public health, mental health, tech, startups. I try to even give like my testimonials for like different industries, because I had somebody ask, they were like, do you only work in HR? I was like, no, my background is in HR, so I naturally just get a lot of HR people, but my clients are in every industry. Oh, no worries, not there anymore. Got laid off literally days later. Claude, you might have dodged the bullet there, to be honest. I'm gonna be honest. Like, um, Rich Auntie Gang. You are so funny. Oh, you are a teacher. Yes. Yeah. Let me, here's the thing with teachers, and my husband's a teacher. You are teaching like your identity. So, oh, this is what I'm talking about. So sometimes when you wear something like your identity, we need to help you shift identity and see who you are and what you are beyond teaching, right? Monica, this is so fun. You said, does your program help your identity and what kind of job you may be suited for? I've worked at Mint several years, but never specialized in a particular area. I can do more about it. The first, Monica, man, you must be kindred spirits. As soon as you sign up in the welcome email, one of the first things we tell you to do is to watch. I have a self-identity workshop. And we have two things that we're going to, like, you sign up, you get immediate access to the curriculum. And then you also, we tell you like, hey, these are the things that you want to check out to get started to prepare you for the program. One is a mid-year review and mindset program. You got to be in the right mindset. And then the second one is the self-identity workshop. That is going to prepare you for everything. And you are right, identity is everything, Monica. So yes. I want to work hybrid or remotely with six-figure. Yes. So my daughter is hired. She has a six-figure role and she works remotely. Here's the thing: I don't see as many as I did before. They are still available. So what we do is we look at remote first companies. Now hybrid. A lot of companies are doing hybrid now. Even companies that traditionally didn't do hybrid are now doing hybrid. I want to see if I missed any questions. Social media. Oh, thank you. Like your LinkedIn also make it better functionality for the mobile version. Thank you, Rita. Rita that gave me a whole website review. Thank you, Rita. I appreciate that. You gonna get these in. I appreciate it. All right. Do you all have any other questions? Right. The rest of the part, this is just really questions and common questions that I typically get. But I want you all to put your questions in. Like, what questions do you have about the program, about anything that we've talked about today? What questions do you have? Let me see. Because I'm going to be going through and saying like, okay, these are common questions, but I want to know what specifically do you all want to know about? You all have me here. I would be taking advantage. I'd be like, all right. All right. And I see Patricia. Thank you, Patricia. All right. Patricia booked her call. Let me make sure you all know you can book your call and go to the calendar. Oh, this is hyperlinked. Oh, this is good. Let me put this in the chat. Yeah, I was like, I did not know that. I am really learning some things today.
Hey, Latrice, I had a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you go, like, you have like the screening from the recruiter, right? And then you
Mm-hmm.
had like an interview, like basically a video interview with, I guess, the hiring manager and another associate, and you haven't heard back from them, and it's been like over a week and a half, and you emailed the recruiter and you're trying to get in contact with the hiring manager, what other steps could I take to hear some feedback or next steps in the interview process?
Did you emailed them already?
Yes.
I would even see if you can reach out to them on LinkedIn or you just send another follow-up email. It's been a week, and I know it sounds like a long time, but a week and a half is not a long time.
Okay.
Especially kind of in the summer with like vacations. Were you on the office hours call we just did? No.
No, I think I
Okay.
missed it.
One, I want to tell you all about the power of community and having confidence in the community. But I had a client and she was like, she's like, well, a former client, and I invite them back for office hours. And she's like, I was ghosted. It's been 2 weeks. And the manager said they were going to forward me to her boss and that I would be referred, right? And so keep in mind what she did. She did every step that I said. She talked to somebody, she found a referral on LinkedIn, connected, built a relationship. They referred her. When they looked in, they were like, oh, the hiring manager did refer you to her boss. And I told her, I was like, hey, that lady did what she was supposed to do. She misspoke about her boss's timeline. You can't say that a VP is going to meet with somebody in a week. She don't know that. And so while we were on the call, because she was like, I don't want to seem desperate. Should I still follow up? I'm like, yes, you want that's not desperate. You want the job. right? It's a good role. It's a great company. She sent the recruiter an email, even though she had already sent one before. We were being supportive. We were like, send it, send it. She sent him an email during that time, that hour we were together. He sent her an email back. And he was like, hey, she was in the running for 2 jobs. He was like, one you didn't get, this other one you're still in the running for. So, and it had been 2 weeks. And this was the second time she followed up. Remember, like I said earlier before, these recruiters are doing more with less. They're extremely busy too. It may not be a purposeful thing, it could be the person over top of them, the person in charge of the scheduling. I would follow up again. You can always follow up a different way. All right. Like if you emailed, you can try emailing again, or you can follow up via LinkedIn, but I would follow up again. Like you do your part.
Okay. Yeah, I'll
Like,
just keep following up with them.
yeah.
Do we just shoot out questions?
Yeah, I'm gonna look in the I see some questions coming in the comments too.
So I have a question. Um, Being that an individual is making a six-figure amount and
Mhm.
want to get to that next level, and it's like nobody calls back. Why is that? Is it the resume to start? I'm not telling the story in the beginning. I don't know.
So you're already making six figures, but
Mm-hmm.
you want to get to the next level and you're applying and not hearing back.
Mm-hmm.
Then yes, it could be your resume. And honestly, like I said, we now need to do other steps besides applying.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So yes, right? Like, yeah, we could probably work on like the resume, showing the brand, making sure things are up front. It could be timing. Are you getting that resume in? I used to tell people within the first 7 days. Now you got to get that resume in within the first 24, 48 hours of it being posted. Like
Exactly.
terms of like like speed. So that's why when people tell me I'm looking at tabs, I got things up. You can't do that these days. But also you may have to take a couple extra steps beyond applying. But I'd be interested to see what your LinkedIn look like, because if you're already making six figures and you want to go into further into the six figures or multiple six figures, I'm mostly seeing those people get found on LinkedIn.
I'm on LinkedIn. That's how I found you.
Yeah, we got to take a look at that profile. We got to take a look.
Well, I set it up.
All right. I put in my link so you all can go to sixfigurepromotions.com. Or you can go to my Calendly link if you want to book a call with me. But the sixfigurepromotions.com will allow you to book a call or directly enroll. Let me see. The self-paced portion of the program. But what is the schedule for one-on-one engagement? Rakisha, so the Fearless Branding Formula, the way this is a community group program, right? So the one-on-one, if you would like a one-on-one, that you can purchase that at an additional rate, but this is a group program. And honestly, y'all, people get amazing results in the group program. Do not underestimate the power of community. This is why with my
Mhm.
private clients, I now put them in a community because that was the missing piece. Let me see. Is military experience comparable to corporate experience because it feels like it's not viewed the same? Yes. Y'all know,
Oh,
and y'all saw my husband was in the military. It's not viewed the same, maybe because you're not explaining it the same, but it is good experience. Some people would even say it's better experience, but how are you changing that narrative? And that website that they tell y'all to go to is not enough. Because my husband went through it and he's like, look, I'm like, that is still military speak. Like, that is still military speak. Um, so it is viewed differently. Like if you put on there about the base and corporate and all and using all these terms, and I lived on a post for what, 4 years, and I lived on a military post. And if I saw that, I still would be like, no, mm-mm. You do have to change the language drastically, okay, Jabril? Um, while it is discrimination, is age a factor for employers? Monica, honestly, yes. So, and so much to the point, this is why I put in a whole piece in the Fearless Branding Formula on how to get hired over 40. I have a completely different way that I write resumes for people over 40. We call it a beyond 40 resume. So sometimes it's not even blatant discrimination. It's like, oh, you got something from the 1900s. They make assumptions and may not even call you back. And yeah, people would die laughing. They were like 1900, no 19 anything. I like no 1920, no 19, not even 1999 in December. No 19 nothing. This is 2024. But yes, you want to minimize that. So there are certain ways that you can craft your resume, that you can craft your LinkedIn profile that will help you minimize discrimination. Because sometimes it's just bias, it's a little softer, right? They're not going to say like, oh, it's because your age, but it could be like that. Maybe that's why you're not getting as many interviews, right? And then when we shift some things on your resume or shift the way you're presented online, you start to find that you're getting more interviews and more recruiters reaching out to you. But and here's the thing, you have to make a case why your age is better. Like at 43, I think I'm the top stuff. I'm like, I've been through so much. Nothing really scares me. I've been through several recessions, a pandemic. I've had kids. I was like, I can handle it all, right? Like being older, we have a level of professionalism. There's an assumption that we're going to be more loyal. So there are some positive things that come with age, okay? Let me see. I know I had someone with the same thing. I know the hiring manager to a job, and when I reached out to her on LinkedIn, she didn't respond right away, but then she reached out quickly and said, I'm on vacation. And that was last week. And now I have an interview with her. Yes. Yes, Lourdes. Thank you for sharing that. See, yeah, sometimes it can be so many reasons why a recruiter, a hiring manager doesn't get back to you in what we think is a timely manner. What we think is a timely manner. It just says, should I renew my LinkedIn premium? Yes. If it's 30, yes, but look, don't tell LinkedIn I said this. If you act like you're going to renew, then stop and then go again. They'll keep like lowering the price. They'll be like, oh, 35, 25, 15, 16. See if you can get it to like $16. I would. For the features that you get, it is really, really worth. I think you can get it maybe as low as like 20, like between 15 and $20 a month. It is. Are cover letters necessary at this point in time? It depends on the job. I've seen some nonprofits still like asking for cover letters. Um, would I say necessary? Not like they were back in the day where everyone's like, I need a cover letter. No, they're not necessary. Again, from what I was hearing from these recruiters, they're not reading the cover letters. Maybe a hiring manager will, but a recruiter is not going to read a cover letter. So back in the day, they would be like, put explanations in the cover letter. And that's not the case now. Don't do that. Mm-mm. It says, so if you're interested in the six-figure and multiple six-figure jobs, should you even apply for jobs that don't meet that criteria? Oh, this is a hot topic. I would say no. I would say no with the caveat, unless it's in a negotiable range. While it's the same amount of energy and effort to apply to a $70,000 role as it is to a six-figure role. This, y'all, this is, and I have some of my clients on here now, some of my new clients, this is just part of the strategy. I'd be like, stop going after what you don't want. Like, go after what you want. And there's a reason that applying for a lowered salary level, it makes you feel safe and a little more comfortable. This is where the mindset piece comes in. But effort and energy and time is the same thing that you would just be applying to a six-figure job. Now, if you don't know and the salary range isn't listed, don't worry about it, right? Then you just go after what you want, right? But if there's a role that pays 75,000 and you're making 69 and you know it's not worth it and you know you want six figures, unless you're going to negotiate that $25,000 gap, you have a judgment call. But if you know you really want six figures, I would say focus a lot of your time and energy on that. If you come across something, it's your ideal role, but it's 85,000, go for it. And it's more than what you're making now, go ahead and go for it. And also 85,000 is a negotiable range. That's a negotiable range to six figures. But one of the things, and even when we do the 5 and 15 challenge, part of that challenge is, okay, let's take this time to go after roles you really want, right? You have the rest of the time to go after 75, 85, $90,000 roles. Let's go after roles you really want for the 5 and 15 challenge. Well, it says young 50s, and I have an interview, but I have a niche skill that is sought after. So they called me right away. Go ahead now. Also, if you know people in the company, it helps. Yes. It's like 20 for 2 months. Thank you. I don't know why it feels more safe. Yeah, it feels safe. That's why we have that mindset piece in the program, you guys. You'll be the same level. Rakisha said you could be the same level of pissed off at the 70K role. This is true. This is true. Rakisha coming through. Would it be acceptable to go lower with the salary if you would offer yearly bonus and equity like 100K? Lourdes, tell me what you mean. Like, a lower base salary? I would never recommend a lower base salary to get to six figures, because bonuses, those things aren't guaranteed, right? Like if you're like, oh, I'm making 90, and I've had people come to me before who did this, where they were like, oh, Latrice, I was making 90, but this other company was like, hey, the base is 70, but with bonuses and this and that, I'll make 150. And what happened was she wound up making 75. So that's some things I would really have to look at that and consider everything. Oh, good to know. Why is it discriminatory? Is age a factor for me? Thank you. I'm just going through the comments. Have you had a teacher get a six-figure job straight out of teaching? It depends. It depends where they start. Let me just be honest. Some teachers come to me, they're already making 75. It's easier to get them to 100. If a teacher's coming to me and she's making 37, honestly, that's a mindset shift to get her to 100 right away. Sometimes they may get to like 65, and then we work together and we get them to like 80 and then 100. And I'm just going to be honest with you. I found that with my teachers, more than talent or strategy, it is mindset and identity that holds them back. They almost are used to making a little bit of money and undervaluing themselves. So mentally, not resume wise and things like that. And what we have in there in the program, I give you a whole list of jobs, of six-figure job titles that you can transition to as a teacher. As a teacher, this is a bonus inside of the program because I've had so many teachers come to me about this. The equity would be worth 100K when they go public. Yeah. See, that's why that question is kind of loaded. You got to have all the details. So if your salary is close to 70K, it's easy to get to 100. Absolutely. Yeah. That's not a hard, I always tell people we play within the gap. It's just a $25,000 gap. Like you've seen some of my clients from the testimonials get $40,000, $50,000 increases. Then we're just playing, then we just kind of play inside the gap. So it's not that bad. But yeah, that's like, I'm like 25,000. This is nothing. We could do this. We could do 25. Like I could work with that. All right. Let me see. Let me know if y'all want me to answer any of these questions. We answered this one. What if I'm already interviewing? What if I'm already earning six figures? Oh, what if I'm pivoting careers? This is when branding really comes into play. If you're somebody and you want to pivot careers, if you tried in the past, this is where things really come into play, where you need to know your brand. You need to also be like, what am I doing now or have done in the past that will correlate to the role I want to have in the future? And you have to kind of be out of the box. out of the box. It doesn't always have to be one for one, right? Like, oh, they say budgeted and I've never managed a budget before. That always comes up. It's like, but did you manage a project before? Did you manage any type of finances before? Were you in charge of something? So pivoting in your careers, and we do have a section on how to change careers as a woman of color because things can be different for us. So we do take care of that in the program as well. Any other questions? What if I can't? What if I don't have a degree? I think we're done with the questions. Oh, yes. If you all have stayed to the end, put here in the comments, and we have a free gift for you guys, which is the LinkedIn messaging templates. That's going to be a free bonus. So everybody who puts here in the comments, you'll go ahead and get that. And then, yes, don't forget about the 5 and 15. So if you are ready, or even if you're like, Latrice, hey, I want to chat with you to book a call, go to sixfigurepromotion.com. We're going to go ahead and take care of that. And I see some of you have already did it. Hey. All right, let me see. Oh, thank you. I finished my MBA by the end of the year, but I want to start interviewing now. Is this education? Yes, 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 definitely. Oh, you got your LinkedIn? Good. I missed the first part of this when we releasing the recording. We will have the replay available tomorrow. So we're gonna have the replay. Thank you so much for the free workshop. I enjoyed them. Enjoyed the last one for the resumes over 40. Oh, you were at that one, the Beyond 40 resume. Yes, thank you. All right. Oh, thank you, Lourdes. All right, if you all have any questions or anything about joining the program, again, go to sixfigurepromotions.com. You will see the enroll now if you want to enroll now. If you have questions and you want to chat and about enrollment, do the book a call. Okay. All right, you all have a wonderful night. Thank you. Oh, bye. Oh. Thank you. Talk to you tomorrow. Oh, did you schedule? Let me see. I like to give people shout outs. Did you schedule a call for tomorrow? Let me see. Let me know if you all have already scheduled. If you're like, Latrice, I already scheduled. Let me know. I try to look, but sometimes it doesn't come up so fast. Oh, thank you. You all are amazing. This was a fantastic group too. You all have a wonderful night.